Let's stay with that ANC NEC story. I'm now joined by Dr Fikile Vilakazi, a political analyst. Thanks so much for your time, Dr Vilakazi, on SABC News this evening. Yesterday, ANC President Cyril Ramaphosa said he was proud to be leading an organization in the midst of a renewal. Do you think that's a correct characterization of the current state of the ANC?
Good afternoon, Nzinga, and to the viewers at home. It's a pleasure to be here once again, talking about coalitions, a very, very difficult subject for us as a nation, Nzinga. You know, the thing is, at the time when the ANC is gathering to imagine a framework, it's actually a bit too late, but I think something is being done. We have been saying that it is very, very important to have a framework that is going to guide our coalitions to function. And I think at the center of that framework should be an understanding by political parties that being a member of a coalition is not a matter of choice, right? It is a matter of ensuring that if citizens vote you into power, you've got the responsibility to deliver services to the ordinary people of South Africa. And I think that we need a framework that is inter-party and intra-party. The ANC is taking a step in this regard to imagine what it can look like, but essentially and ideally, Nzinga and listeners at home, our reading of the situation is that you need this framework to be to be centered within the National Assembly. You want Parliament to take responsibility and the legislature to take responsibility to guide how these coalitions are going to function in 2024 and beyond, to ensure that you do not have political parties that are saying, I'm not going to work with this party number one, party number two, because I just simply do not like them. Because that is not what the essence of our politics is about. The essence is that actually you do not have a choice. All political parties who are going to register with the IEC have got to understand through that framework that actually it is an obligation to be a part of a coalition, whether you like A, B, C, D or not. It is not a matter of like, it's a matter of the people of the country. It's a matter of what the voter is saying. Okay. If we are reading, yes, sorry.
No, you can continue.
So if we're reading the voter direction at this point, you can see that we as citizens of South Africa are taking a direction that says we really need coalitions. There are lots of mushrooming political parties also that are emerging. It is not a coincidence, right? That mushrooming in the political sphere and the public domain is telling us that South Africans are saying we do not want a one single party state. So any political party then that is going to contest 2024 with that mindset that says they want overall power is not going to win that, right? So it is a very, very critical. Even opposition parties who are beginning to think about coalitions, to think about that, to say it's inevitable. We have arrived here. It is time. We are here. Let us imagine what a framework is going to look like. And in fact, as quick as possible, if it is possible, we do not have time. We need to have this legislated. We need to have this at a policy, a framework that is going to guide everyone. And it's a non-negotiable. Really, right. If you're a political party, you have that responsibility to be able to listen to the frameworks of this country and legislation in that regard.
Dr. Vilakazi, the ANC NEC meeting also discussed the impact of rolling blackouts on the economy, and Dr. Ramaphosa outlined his short and medium and long-term plan to combat this. Do you think that we are going to see an end to it as promised by the ANC by 2023, or is that trust deficit that appears between members of the public and the ANC going to continue on this issue of load shedding?
Nzinga, to be honest with you, I listened to the Minister of Electricity outlining that plan. And, you know, it's not something that we have not heard before. I think there have been attempts to say we want to rebuild Kusile and Medupi. You know, we want to spend 30 billion rand is going to be spent just on buying diesel, right, to make sure that we have electricity. Why is it that we do not take that 30 billion and invest it into the solar panel system immediately? Right? That's what we are saying. I think they've outlined it as number 5, a priority area. Make it number 1. Take that 30 billion and make sure that citizens have got power immediately. Right? Whilst we are trying to then find generation capacity in the next medium term and perhaps long term. I want to imagine and say that if we take that money and invest it in that way, I think we'll salvage the situation in the next 6 months in terms of a 6 months plan. Our universities, Nzinga, and viewers at home, perhaps TVET colleges, have got the capacity to train small businesses in the country, those who do not know how to generate power. You know, we've got something that you call your technology transfer offices in our institutions of higher learning. The Minister of Electricity, together with the Minister of Higher Education and Technology and Innovation, can lead this revolution of power generation, of solar panels. We can do inverters within our own universities. I understand now at this point, of course, we are relying on China to supply some of the parts, but we do have that capacity. The issue is money. And if then the fiscus is able to release that 30 billion rand, why not redirect that money to making sure that TVET colleges and higher education institutions, our technology transfer offices, quickly, manufacture these products at home so that they are available cheaper in terms of accessibility to poor households. And that is possible. We've got a lot, particularly in KwaZulu-Natal and the Eastern Cape, small businesses who are already doing this work of manufacturing. Capacitate those small businesses, ensure that this scheme that is being suggested, that is going through the banks and the financial system, through the treasury, is accessible to smaller businesses who are going to manufacture this work. If you're going to partner with China, so be it. But let that partnering be in such a manner that the people of South Africa, particularly the majority who are poor, have got accessibility. So Minister of Electricity must turn that plan upside down, Nzinga. That is my suggestion. Bring the power through solar panels whilst we are fixing Medupi and Kusile and so on, because he's talking about getting a generator from Amsterdam. We've had these stories before. He's talking about, fixing this thing and bringing the coal. It has failed, Nzinga. We know that Kusile and Medupi, I've always said that is actually wasted expenditure. That is wasted expenditure. Let us read and learn from that as quickly as we can. We do not have time for another year. Blackouts are here. Right? Let's reverse that plan. That is my suggestion. I think there's something there that is being imagined upside down.
Dr. Fikile Vilakazi, a political analyst, joining us there just to talk about the ANC NEC meeting and some themes that emerged from that and her reaction to that. Really appreciate your time on SABC News.